As much as we all love casting a certain spell, it can start to feel repetitive when we notice our characters using the same spells over and over for just about every situation, especially when they're right to spam that spell because, like in the case of Fireball, it's really powerful for its level. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 of my favorite house rules for spellcasters that encourage more creativity by making spellcasting both spectacular and a little dangerous. Because I'm Bob, this is where we learn how to have more fun playing D&D together, and this first method actually comes from our sponsor, Milando's Guide to Magical Marvels. This book expands on the magic of 5e with its own 3 systems for hexcrafting, rune carving, and spell warping, which we're about to talk about. Plus 50 unique curses, runes, and spell marks, 30 new magic items, 20 new monsters, 10 traps and puzzles, and 6 magical merchant NPCs to bring these fantastical concepts to life in your game. The free spell warping sample on their Kickstarter, linked below, tells us that most spell warpers are creatures who have been touched by raw magic. The most skilled spell warpers can manipulate raw magic to create specific spell marks, magical boons that also come with magical consequences. For example, Kier the Spell Warped, a blind and confused spell warping Gnoll NPC, performs an hour-long ritual that involves both rhythmic dancing and yipping, which are written to be unnecessary, but your players won't know that. To imbue one of his known spell marks, like
Don't say it. I will not do it.
Like wildfire. The mark itself manifests as flame-like tendrils on your feet and legs, and it grants plus 10 to your movement speed and disadvantage to any creature who makes opportunity attacks against you, but also disadvantage on your own attacks, checks, and saves unless you moved at least half your speed on your turn. But also the ability to dash while creating a trail of magical flames behind you that trigger a dex save against force damage to anyone who crosses it. So the high-risk, high-reward nature of spell warping makes really any kind of character do some critical thinking. Another way you can get your players to think before they cast, you know what, is to not only enforce the rules as written consequences for these powerful elemental spells, but even to introduce new ones that just make sense. I already have this short video on how fire actually works in D&D, where we reach the kinda disappointing conclusion that most magical fire doesn't do what we feel like it should do. And this is so weird. I played D&D for probably 2 years until I realized that's how it worked. Then I played it as written for about 2 more years until I decided it was way more fun and exciting when fire spells could be used to, I don't know, start fires? And it's not just about fire. All cold spells could slow things down. Lightning spells could be conducted through metal. Poison spells could even cause the poisoned condition. I mostly use this idea on a case-by-case basis, but here's one idea for a new mechanic you might want to try out: burning. When a flammable creature takes 10 or more points of fire damage, they must make a dexterity saving throw to avoid burning. The DC equals 10 or half the damage you take, whichever number is higher. If you take fire damage from multiple sources, such as a flaming arrow and a red dragon's breath, you make a separate saving throw for each source of fire damage. Until a creature takes an action to douse the fire, the burning creature takes 1d4 fire damage at the start of each of its turns and has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. And hey, if you like any of these ideas, remember to give this video a thumbs up so I know to make more stuff like this. But the ultimate house rule to make your magic system more fun comes from the core rules of Dungeon Crawl Classics. Now, frankly, DCC has a cooler magic system than D&D 5e because through and through, it makes wielding this supernatural, otherworldly force as spectacular and dangerous as it should be. Spellburn is what every caster wants, the ability to power up their spells by making a mortal sacrifice. Specifically, DCC wizards can temporarily expend points of strength, agility, or stamina to boost their spell checks. Then they regain one of those points for each day they do not use a spell burn. So the simple adaptation to D&D is sacrificing strength, dex, or con to boost a spell attack roll or raise your spell save DC, but this could require the player to recalculate a bunch of ability score bonuses in the middle of combat. So instead of sacrificing ability score points, the awesome adaptation is to take on a corruption. In DCC, corruptions are random bodily mutations typically caused by critical failures on wizard spell checks, representing their miscalculations with magic. Their eyes glow, they grow claws, tentacles, or a third eye. Their skin perpetually melts on part of their body. The list goes on, and some of them do have benefits, but all of them are just plain weird. Corruptions are usually permanent, but we can make them temporary for a simple spell boost, or if the PC wants a guaranteed successful cast, the corruption should be permanent and drastic, only to be used as a last resort. So it better be worth it when they use it for Fireball. And DCC also has some awesome features for martial characters like the one I talk about in this video, so check out that and Melando's Guide to Magical Marvels, and keep
Fireball!